You're watching CBS 12 News, the one to turn to.
A cold-blooded killing.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
The murder of Trooper Bullock was an unprovoked, premeditated murder on the side of I-95.
The new dash cam video and 911 calls that paint a clear picture about the moments before and after Trooper Joseph Bullock was murdered on the side of I-95.
Rip currents, rough surf, beaches taking a beating, the strong winds chopping up our coast and causing dangerous conditions.
It is a case of child abuse that none of us can forget. Twins tortured and left for dead on the side of I-95 in West Palm Beach. The disturbing case blowing the lid off colossal DCF failures. Tonight, the deal that lets their adopted mother avoid the death penalty. Good evening, everyone. A cold-blooded and premeditated murder. That's how the sheriff of Martin County describes the shooting death of Trooper Joseph Bullock.
Yeah, and today the investigation into the murder of the Florida Highway Patrol officer took another wild turn. For the first time now, we see dash cam video and hear recordings of the 911 calls in the moments leading up and after the trooper's death. Trooper Bullock pulled over to help a disabled driver and even called a tow truck to help him out. And that's when things took a deadly turn. CBS 12's Lexi Null is live in Martin County tonight. And Lexi, we are finally learning, or are we finally learning, a motive for this case?
Yes, Jim, while this will always seem like a senseless killing, we now are officially learning about the shooter's motive. They say he was upset over the price of a tow.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
This is just one 911 call that came in moments after Trooper Bullock was murdered along the side of I-95. And though these calls chronicled the dramatic ending to his life, Trooper Bullock's day seemed ordinary until that moment. This video was taken hours before the trooper died. It's footage of his first encounter with his killer, Franklin Reed. Here, Trooper Bullock notices Reed's SUV broken down on the side of the road. He talks to Reed briefly before leaving. But 1 hour later, Bullock is called back to the same area where Reed is still having car trouble. Only this time, his SUV is in a gully in the woods.
It wasn't until the trooper comes back and the vehicle is down in the gully that the trooper does what he has to do. He can't leave it down in there. Now you just can't leave it there.
Officials say Trooper Bullock then called Reed a tow, standard procedure, and even waited with Reed for an hour as the tow truck driver assisted. What happened next will never be exactly known, but investigators believe Reed didn't have the money to pay the tow truck driver, and he quickly turned irrational and dangerous.
Reed wants his truck back. Those tow truck's not releasing it until he gets paid. Bullock is just waiting there, letting them work it out.
Officials say an angry Reed then walked over and shot Trooper Bullock point blank in his car. Investigators believe Reed also tried to shoot the tow truck driver, but the gun jammed.
Someone shot the FHP officer. My tow truck driver is running from a 195. Stay on the line.
Off-duty Riviera Beach police officer Jamel Headings was able to stop Reed and fire a round into his chest. But the shot that ultimately killed Reed, investigators say, was self-inflicted.
Yes, there was a tow truck, there was a cop. There was a cop on the ground. I don't know if the cop was just hiding behind the door or if he was, I don't know. Trooper was on the ground, the tow truck. And somebody shot himself in the head.
Okay, the person with the gun shot himself?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the police officer who engaged Reed, we're told, was placed on administrative leave. That's just standard procedure. We're also told that the round he fired into Reed's chest actually would have killed him. That's if Reed decided not to end his own life. For now, reporting live in Martin County, I'm Lexi Null, CBS 12 News.
All right, thanks, Lexi. Today, we also learned the suspect, Franklin Reed III, stole a gold medallion in Palm Bay just a day before the killing. Sheriff says the cases are not related. Besides the theft, Reed had no criminal record, only a traffic violation. His family says he has no history of violence or mental illness. Trooper Bullock wanted to be a cop since he was just 5 years old. Last week, hundreds gathered for Trooper Joseph Bullock's funeral at Sarasota's National Cemetery. Troopers, police, deputies from all over the nation rode their bikes to escort his casket. Right now on CBS12.com, read the full timeline of events of what happened on the side of I-95 in those final moments.
All right, turning to weather now. Right now, rip currents and rough surf concern along our coast as the winds pick up. This is a look at the conditions at the Sebastian Inlet today.
Yeah, look at it out there. Treasure Coast. Also, these are some live pictures right now. You can see those waves are pretty rough out there. Chief Meteorologist Aaron Christensen telling us what's driving that.
Yeah, it's all associated with this front moving through, and it has brought on a few spotty showers, but just like we had forecast, the wind is definitely a much bigger deal than that rain. 67 degrees right now. The wind gusts at Palm Beach International alone at 30 miles per hour. But you mentioned the Sebastian Inlet. That is where we've had the strongest wind gusts so far reported at 47 miles per hour. Juno Beach, 46, 44 St. Lucie, as well as Vero Beach. West Palm, 32 mile per hour gusts. Fort Pierce, 32 as well. And the strongest wind is yet to arrive for Vero Beach. We're talking close to 50 mile per hour gusts through about 8 to 9 o'clock this evening, and 30 to 45 mile per hour gusts along the coast of Palm Beach County, continuing right on through our midday Saturday. So what does this mean if you're headed to the last day of the Martin County Fair? I'll take a closer look at that forecast coming up.
Well, it was a case that shocked the nation. Twins from Miami found on the side of I-95. The little girl dead, her twin brother badly abused.
The case blew the lid open on a series of DCF failures, and now today, 9 years later, their adoptive mother finally accepted responsibility for the atrocities she inflicted on her children.
CBS 12 News anchor Thomas Forster joining us live right now with what happens next.
Yeah, Jim and Liz, 69-year-old Carmen Barahona will get life in prison in exchange for the testimony against her husband, Jorge. The two were charged in the 2011 murder of their adopted 10-year-old daughter, Nubia, abusing her twin brother, Victor. Now, the little girl's body was found partially decomposed in the back of Jorge's truck on Valentine's Day 2011 along I-95 right here in Palm Beach County. Her brother Victor survived, but he was badly burned after he was doused with a toxic chemical. Now, at the time, authorities said the couple abused the twins for months inside their Miami home, keeping them locked in a bathroom for days at a time with their hands and feet bound. Now, just 3 days before the murder, someone called the state's abuse hotline to report the two kids were being tied up in the bathtub. The DCF caseworker who investigated never found the twins. Now, she knocked on the family door, but the adoptive mother told her that the children were not there. Now, the son, Victor Barahona, who is now 19 years old, later received $3.75 million to complete a settlement with the Department of Children and Families. Now, as far as Carmen Barahona, who has agreed to testify, the sentence is being deferred until she cooperates in the prosecution of her husband, Jorge. Liz?
Thanks, Thomas. An arrest just made in the killings of 2 people outside a funeral this month, including a 15-year-old teenager. 19-year-old Derek Peoples is accused of killing 47-year-old Royce Freeman execution style in a hail of gunfire outside Victory City Church. Police say Freeman is the one who killed 15-year-old Terrence T.J. Jackson Jr. Jackson Jr. was a football standout at Deerfield Beach High School. He had just delivered a eulogy for his grandfather before he was killed. Today, CBS 12 News sat down with his mother. She tells us the person under arrest is actually a hero.
He is my hero. He saved my life. He saved other people's lives. There was children out there. I don't understand how is he being held responsible for the killing of a murderer, a cold-blooded murderer.
Police say security cameras captured 3 gunmen fire at least 12 shots into the crowd. Investigators are still trying to track down the 3rd gunman involved.
Well, CBS 12 News has been keeping you informed on the homeless problem in Palm Beach County from this tent city over in John Prince Park that has become an issue for the Lake Worth community. Now to a new encampment that appears to be forming directly across the street from a homeless service center run by a local charity.
CBS 12's Chuck Weber spoke to the director of St. Anne's Place about the growing problem that neighbors placed firmly on his doorstep.
Yesterday, we heard from the Pleasant City Neighborhood Association president who lives right over here. He brought our attention to what's going on out on the sidewalk right next door to him. It looks like a mini encampment springing up. Today, we heard from St. Anne Place. That's the building up on the corner there. The agency provides a multitude of services for the homeless.
We have 6 shower facilities, and we'll wash 4 or 5 people's clothing together so that the next time they come for their next shower, we'll hand them clean clothes.
Showers, a laundry, and 2 meals a day, even a place to drop off and receive mail. John Pescosolito is executive director of St. Anne Place in West Palm Beach.
If you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to seek out opportunities to improve your life.
But in recent weeks, some of those visiting St. Anne have been leaving their belongings and sleeping on the sidewalk across the street.
The city and the county has made a concerted effort to move the homeless out of the parks.
Pescosolito told me they've also been chased out of the Northwood Business District a few blocks away.
So they've migrated to 20th Street because as they've noticed a couple of people are staying there, it's safe. A few more go into the group and then it just grows.
But homeowner Michael Cleveland complains these people aren't just eating and sleeping on the street, they're using his neighborhood as a toilet. Pescosolito said he sympathizes. He said he knows when St. Anne's closes at 4, there's nowhere to use the restroom, especially since the homeless have been kicked out of area parks.
Until we as a community come together and identify a place where they can go at night that has bathroom facilities, that is safe, we're going to continue to see encampments throughout the county pop up.
So we're going to continue to monitor the situation here in Pleasant City. The search for solutions is not an easy one. In West Palm Beach, Chuck Weber, CBS 12 News.
Well, we just received this statement from the city of West Palm Beach. It reads, Mayor James is well aware of residents' concerns and is committed to addressing quality of life issues for all neighborhoods. Discussions are being held on a comprehensive plan to address this matter. Of course, CBS 12 News will be keeping you posted on developments.
Next at 5, Hometown Hero, the pro player partnering with the United Way to help local elementary school students, how he's making sure underprivileged students have access to the basics.
This is no ordinary pig. This pig has a legacy of remaining elusive in Lake Worth. I'll show you how she was finally caught.
And we're along the midway here in the Martin County Fairgrounds. We're playing some games. Oh, no, just missed it. But I'll tell you some of the things you could do if you come on out to the Martin County Fair tonight. That's coming up as CBS 12 News at 5 continues.
An emotional reunion 7 years in the making. A Fort Pierce teenager who nearly died in a house fire in Fort Pierce in 2013 met with the hero firefighters who saved him.
As it turns out, he suffered third-degree burns on more than 50% of his body and has had more than 30 surgeries. CBS 12's Al Peffley walks us through that night years ago as the three come face-to-face again.
15-year-old Demetrius Golett of Fort Pierce may not remember much about the fire that day, but he'll never forget the two firefighters who saved his life.
Demetrius! Hey, buddy. Looking good. Good to see you. What's up, big fella? How you doing? Give me a hug, man.
Demetrius Golett, an 8th grader, came to St. Lucie County Fire District Station 15 to express his thanks to a couple of firefighters that, to him, were his guardian angels.
I'm happy that they saved me from the fire. And I'm glad that I'm still alive.
These photos from the St. Lucie County Fire District show the scene back in February 2013 when firefighters rescued Demetrius from a raging fire that swept through his great-grandparents' Fort Pierce home.
The police officers were saying somebody was in there and we could hear him moaning and groaning. So we ripped the bars off the window. The fire was coming down the hallway, pretty much on top of him.
They say Demetrius, who was 8 years old at the time, was on the floor unconscious.
We could barely make him out, laying on the ground in a bunch of rubble, and I grabbed his legs, Chris grabbed his arms, and we went.
They had to go through flames to get him out the front door.
We pretty much shielded him and ran and went through as fast as we could.
All I said to him, we got you. That's all I said. I just kept saying, we got you.
Now, 7 years after the fire, Demetrius is here to thank them and get a brief tour of the fire station.
This is the motor, and then it works all these tools right here.
And to remind them of what a big difference they made in his life.
It's awesome. I love that he came back. It's amazing.
Demetrius says his career plans are still up in the air. The firefighters hope he might choose to become a firefighter someday and follow in their footsteps.
What are you looking forward to?
Becoming a fireman.
Demetrius says he owes his life to these two guys.
I appreciate them for saving me from the fire, house fire. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been here.
For Demetrius, the road to healing is not over yet. He's been through a lot of surgeries. He'll have another one next month in Miami. In Fort Pierce, Al Peffley, CBS 12 News.
What a great story.
It really is.
That was
yeah.
really nice, that reunion.
All right, so we are talking about this windy weather we've been experiencing.
You know, I don't know. Is there such a bad thing as a bad day at the beach?
No, I
really.
will say no. I think just being there, terrific.
I don't know about that.
But right. Today,
that looks like a bad day at the beach.
I was going to say, if there is such a thing as a bad day at the beach, I think this would certainly qualify.
I agree.
Take a look at Lake Worth earlier today. The wind is whipping around, some high waves. Not too many people out enjoying the water, and really that's kind of a good thing. They should be staying on the shore because that rip current risk is still quite high. We've got a slew of coastal concerns that are quite frankly going to continue all the way through the day tomorrow. 67 degrees, mostly cloudy right now. And these are the stats, by the way, from Palm Beach International. So the wind close to West Palm sustained at 18 miles per hour, the gusts at 30 miles per hour. We have had several storm reports, though, of wind along the coast. This is where the strongest winds have been clocked. Juno Beach, 46-mile-per-hour gust, according to a weather spotter there. For St. Lucie County, 44-mile-per-hour gust, and closer to Sebastian at Barefoot Bay, almost 50-mile-per-hour gust reported there today. We do have wind alerts that still continue for the Treasure Coast until 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then along the coast of Palm Beach County, staying in effect through at least 7 a.m. But a lot of the high surf advisories and the rip current risk, the other advisories are going to continue well through the day on Saturday. So tomorrow, not really the greatest day for taking the boat out at all. Overnight, we will dip down to 59 degrees. There's that weather whiplash that I've been talking about. 30% chance for rain will continue. The wind isn't going to subside a whole lot either. And then come tomorrow from the northeast, those gusts up to 30 miles per hour, 71 degrees our high. Still expect to see more clouds than sunshine. The sun probably peeking out from those clouds a little bit after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm expecting that 30% chance for rain before 2 p.m. When we look at our future radar, really not seeing a whole lot being advertised here. Just a few spotty showers through our Saturday midday into early evening, and that is it. If you are taking advantage of the last day of the Martin County Fair tomorrow, there's a 30% chance you want to have a raincoat handy. 72 degrees at 5 o'clock. 68 by 8 p.m. and at 11 p.m. 64. The wind is still going to be elevated there as well. So tomorrow we're not going to shake the wind just yet, but certainly tapering off a lot by Sunday. That chance for rain drops to 10%. Our highs staying in the low 70s through the weekend, back to average though for our Monday.
Thanks, Aaron. Well, rides, carnival food, and games. The Martin County Fair is underway.
Yeah, CBS 12 meteorologist Zach Covey is joining us live at the fair right now. I've got to say, you got to hold on to your hat if you get on that Ferris wheel, Zach.
Yeah, you know what? I've been thinking about getting on the Ferris wheel. Let me tell you what, Jim and Liz and even Aaron, I've been clocking some of the wind speeds here. The highest speed we've had so far, 14.8 miles per hour. Now that may seem kind of high, but it is safe enough for all of these rides to be running. We did just get an update from the front office here that the ride people that put on all of these rides say that the winds are low enough for all of the carnival rides here along the Midway to actually work. Take a look. We've got the Ferris wheel one running. We've got all of our games and fun going on. And if you want to come out tonight, by the way, tonight is pet food night. So bring 2 cans of pet food and you can get in for $5. General admission is typically $10. So a $5 general admission versus a $10, might as well, right? Bring 2 cans of pet food, you can have some fun. Coming up at 6, we'll show you some of the good eats here at the Martin County Fairgrounds. Till then, I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Zach Covey reporting in Martin County.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. Well, if you're looking for something else to do this weekend, it is the official start of spring training, and what better way to kick it all off than with the 2 teams who played in the World Series last October. The Washington Nationals taking on the Houston Astros Saturday and Sunday over at 15 Ballpark of the Palm Beaches, and then at Roger Dean Stadium over in Jupiter. It's the Cardinals. They'll be playing the Mets tomorrow afternoon, and then Sunday, the Marlins will play the Nationals. Over in Port St. Lucie, the Mets will be playing the Marlins tomorrow, and then Sunday, it's the Mets versus the Cardinals. Well, it is a pig running around Lake Worth Beach for weeks now. It's been finally caught. Okay, coming up next, we're going to hear more from this little guy and this now being called a swine star on social media and how officers finally brought home the bacon.
Well, air travel can be hard enough. Now there's concern you might not have the right identification to fly. What you need to know about Real ID. Ham on the lamb. Yesterday, we had a goat in a jail cell. Today, we have a hot pursuit of a pig.
That's right. CBS 12 reporter Madeline Montgomery is with that pig, and the story, well, of a short of local celebrity over in Lake Worth.
This little lady over here has been running around Lake Worth for weeks. I talked to the man who made the whole community go ham for pig sightings in Lake Worth. Back in the barn after weeks on the streets.
So he was just digging around there, and I heard him because of all the leaves back there. It's the only reason I heard him.
The ham, the myth, the legend. Luke posted the pig to social media where her popularity took off, much like she does when anyone tries to catch her.
Next thing you know, there's like a bunch of posts and pictures and videos, and then last night we were trying to decide on a name, and people said just let it go, let it run around. It's now the town pig.
The pig sightings weren't just posted to Facebook. They were called into animal control and even to the sheriff's office.
We had citizen complaints about the pig being loose. I think the sheriff's department was out with some deputies.
But this little lady did not want to be caught.
Kind of did a little couple football moves, a little juking here and there, and it went down to past me in an alleyway, and I just got it right at the end of the net.
Now she's living in animal control's barn, possibly plotting her next pig escape. If her owner does not come forward, she will eventually be put up for adoption. From West Palm Beach, Madeline Montgomery, CBS 12 News.
She's quiet when she's eating.
I was going to say that that noise.
She might not like the height. That's what's too high for her.
Maybe that's what it was.
Well, an eyesore no more. A landfill near the water undergoes a major transformation.
And now there's a new park in its place and a ribbon cutting tomorrow. Coming up next at 5:30, why this is the first of many projects to come.
And a rough day on the water indeed. It's going to continue through part of the weekend. We'll let you know when we're expecting some improving conditions at the beach. That's coming up.
You're watching CBS 12 News, the one to turn to.
Now at 5:30, a live look at Vero Beach as the winds continue to pick up. You can see just how rough that surf is too. And unfortunately, this weather isn't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Aaron Christensen joining us right now. Aaron, it doesn't look like it's going to be much of a weekend for the beach.
Well, certainly not tomorrow. We do see some conditions improving a little bit as we head through our Sunday. Our Fort Pierce Inlet looking pretty rough today. That's not the work of a shaky photog. That is just the camera out there blowing around in those wind gusts that have topped out close to 50 miles per hour there. Now for Palm Beach International, the wind gusts at 36 miles per hour right now, sustained winds at 28 miles per hour and 66 degrees. Sebastian Inlet, spotter there, reported close to 50 mile per hour gusts. Juno Beach, 46, 44, St. Lucie, and so far about that 32, 33 mile per hour range for West Palm Beach. But we're still expecting stronger winds for the Treasure Coast as we head through the course of the night through 8, 9 o'clock and then continuing tomorrow, but tapering off a little bit in that 30 to 36 mile per hour range. So our wind advisory does still continue for the Treasure Coast through early tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. and for the coast of Palm Beach County at least through 7. That could get extended right on through the entire day tomorrow. Coming up, we'll take a look at how this might impact the Street Painting Festival in Lake Worth Beach.
All right, we'll see you in a bit, Aaron. Well, city leaders now preparing to unveil a new multi-million-dollar park in Boca Raton.
Hillsborough El Rio Park South, located on 18th Street, is the first facility to open since the city announced plans to revitalize the waterfront. CBS 12's Stephanie Valderrama joins us live to show us this multi-million-dollar project. Stephanie?
Yeah, check out this insane jungle gym. It's just one of the many amenities that you can enjoy at this park. But one look at this place and you would never guess that it was built on the city's site, on the city's former landfill.
I remember this as being the city dump.
Beneath the garbage, Boca Raton city leaders saw potential.
Talk about a good way to repurpose it.
Last year, dirt started moving on the proposed Hillsborough El Rio Park South, and the city spared no expense.
Probably one of the best parks we have in our city. 14 acres that has all sorts of amenities that is going to be able to serve this entire community.
Councilman Andy Thompson says this park is the anchor of the city's waterfront master plan, the first of many projects aimed at revitalizing recreational spaces along the waterfront.
It improves our quality of life.
Families can kayak or canoe the El Rio Canal, accessible through a soft launch ramp. Parents can treat the kids to an afternoon on the 10,000 square foot playground. If you're into fitness, walk or jog the outdoor trail. Whether you prefer tennis, sand volleyball, or basketball, there's plenty of courts for a quick game. And one new amenity that's Raul Travieso's favorite.
Then I could step in and hit it.
Outdoor pickleball courts are new to Boca Raton and weren't included in the park plan, but its popularity has taken off in Palm Beach County and 4 were built.
We played pickleball mainly in other cities because they have outdoor courts. We are so excited about having our first outdoor dedicated courts.
The city did do remediation on this site. If you're interested in checking out the park, the grand opening is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Reporting live, Stephanie Valderrama, CBS 12 News.
Well, incredible video coming out of Fort Pierce. Take a look. Raging explosions coming from this RV on Andrews Avenue over in Fort Pierce yesterday. Those flames catching a nearby home on fire as well. Luckily, no one was injured. It's still unclear what started the fire.
We'll take a look at these images from near South Bay. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue says this is what was left after a semi-truck and several cars collided on South US 27th near Ocalanta Road. First responders say 3 people were taken to trauma hospitals. As a result, the cause of this crash remains under investigation. Well, an NFL player with hometown ties is rolling up his sleeves to make a difference in our community.
Yeah, this is pretty neat. It's the Raiders linebacker Tavon Coney. He wants to make sure that children in Palm Beach County have access to the basics. CBS 12's Curtis Jennings is joining us right now. He was over at the South Grade Elementary School in Lake Worth, where the Star delivered some backpacks and I understand some goodies too, right, Curtis?
That is right, guys, and the look on those children's faces said it all. But Tavon says it's all in a day's work.
High five. Yeah, I love that smile. I love that.
You may know Tavon Coney as an All-American linebacker for the Las Vegas Raiders, or you may remember Coney as an electric showstopper for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
How you doing, man? You doing good?
But people here in West Palm Beach know him as something bigger, a 22-year-old that's got a lot of love to give.
Being able to give back to my community, being able to create opportunities and platform to kids is what I care about. That drives me more than anything.
Coney is partnering with the United Way of Palm Beach County to give out backpacks of food to underprivileged students at South Grade Elementary.
There you go, man. I love it. Oh, you strong.
Nearly every student in the school is on free or reduced lunch. Oftentimes, this is their only meal of the day.
He is from this community and he's coming back and sharing what he can offer for these kids. It's amazing. These kids go home without food.
Doing good. Let me see that smile. I want to see that smile. There you go.
Coney says along with helping students, he plans to kick off his nonprofit, Tough Choices.
I know a lot of kids back in the community have dreams and aspirations that they want to achieve. And, you know, sometimes the tough choices kind of get in the way. And being able to have a platform where they create the knowledge and the information they need to make those right choices is very important. You strong, man. You got it.
In the next few years, Coney hopes to open a Tough Choices Center so these young children have a place to go here in Palm Beach County.
There you go. I love that.
And I asked Tavon what keeps him so humble and wanting to help others, and he simply just grinned at me and said his parents and his faith. Reporting live in the studio, Curtis Jennings, CBS 12 News.
Thanks, Curtis. He's a great guy. Well, if you're looking for a kid-free vacation, we have a new one coming to our area, but it comes with a serious price.
And the coronavirus crisis, an alarming number of cases now on the rise, and this time we're not talking about China.
Major changes coming to our airports, the new requirement you could be missing that will leave you behind. That's next.